So I have a question for you. Would you fly long haul on a narrow-bodied jet? Now, I remember at about 2019, 2020, when the A321LR was first flying transatlantic with the likes of JetBlue and TAP. And I thought to myself, that's not for me. I'm not doing that. Now, I know we've had twin jets flying the Atlantic, the 767, the 757 for longer than I've been flying, but they have a big jet feel, even the 757. The A321, I fly that from Manchester to London. I'm never going to fly it long haul. Well, that's what I thought, till a couple of weeks ago when I was booking my Etihad stopover trip from Manchester to Bangkok with my lovely free stopover in Abu Dhabi, and the second leg was marked up as in on the new A321LR. And I thought to myself, you know what? You only live once, Christopher. Get on that plane, see what it's all about. So that's exactly what I'm going to show you now, my flight on the A321LR. And after you've watched the video, is your answer still the same? Has my video changed your mind? Or are you never getting on a narrow body, or are you, I don't care, what's the difference? So anyway, let's enjoy the film. There are a few noticeable differences flying narrow bodied long haul, and I will explain those on the way. Right, let's get to the airport. Now, I'm not one for filming at Middle Eastern airports, but check-in was absolutely fine. I had priority because I was traveling on a Deluxe economy ticket. Please note, they weighed my hand luggage to check it was 7 kilos or under. And it was, so that was fine. So let's get straight to the boarding, which is where you notice the first change of flying on an A321, a narrow-bodied jet, long haul. Well, the first thing is it's got proper business class seats. So, of course I wasn't in them, but I snuck a quick look for you. But the thing that's going to affect my flight and affected most flights, boarding is slow. And the reason, in my opinion, that it's slow is people are putting their limited 7 kilos of checked luggage, but they're getting settled down for a 7-hour flight. They're not settling down for a 2-hour flight. So they're making sure they've got their phone cables, their headphones, their books, their bottle of water. So you'd always travel with a bottle of water. So as you can see here, it was wait, wait and wait. And I was priority boarding. So by the time it got to economy boarding, you know it's going to be fairly hectic. Anyway, look at those seats. They do look lovely. Maybe next time, Christopher. Maybe next time we'll get into business class. But here's my seat. As you can see, this is a snug-looking plane, and we'll come to that in a moment. My Deluxe economy seat was 1 inch smaller than the 787 I flew on the day before. Now, as you can see, we're all settled in, and everyone's at their seats, and we're ready for boarding complete. Now, I have to say, I was settled in my Deluxe economy seat. Looked at the entertainment system, it's all there. There's plenty to watch. If you follow the channel, you'll know that I've never watched an in-flight movie, because this is my thing, the map. And the map was the best map and technical detail that I've had on any plane. That's because it's a brand new plane. So the map was far superior to the 787, though I think the movies were exactly the same. And the other thing that was the same was what I praised in the 787 video, was the Qatar safety video. They're showcasing the Louvre, which I explored in a wonderful place. Watch the video on that, link in the description and at the end of the channel. So anyway, we're back to the seat. As I said, I'd lost an inch from the 787, but I had plenty of room, good tray table, and one interesting thing, as I was looking for the safety card, I always like to take a picture of the safety card first time I've been on a plane. I noticed there was a full in-flight magazine. I haven't really seen an in-flight magazine since pre-COVID. So there's a couple of interesting articles there. Luxury that I can't afford. So unfortunately, luxury I can't afford to cover on the channel. But of course on the channel I do cover lots and lots of hotels, cruise ships and flights, as you are discovering for yourself. So the seat itself, power sockets, you could pair your phone with the entertainment system. I'm not sure why you'd want to do that, but you could do that. But my most important thing when I'm sat in my seat is waiting for the food. Now, I've been lucky enough to fly in business class. I've even flown in first class on one occasion. And I love economy food as well. I think it's maybe the compartmentalism of it. But the food was great. I think it was, if I remember rightly, as I'm recording this, it was chicken. And it was good. And I tend to make a meal of my meal. So I know they're not going to clear it for ages, so I take my time and sort of break it down as a starter, main course and dessert. And then it was back to the cricket, because if I told you, if you watched the 787 flight report, that they had live cricket on the plane, and it was during the T20. Now we come to probably the most important part of flying single aisle. There's nowhere to go for a walk. And if you look at it in economy, people are spreading out into the aisle as they normally do. And for me, I once suffered with a blood clot. I have to go and have my walk. And there's no bulkhead to walk around. There's no back galley. There is a back galley, but it's tiny. And talking of tiny things, the little boys' room is not really much different to any other plane you're on. But the big difference is, it's the same amount of bathrooms as you'd have on an A320 flying shorter routes. And of course, there's more demand for the bathroom on a longer route. So you've got the same ratio of bathrooms to passengers, but the passenger requirement has gone up. So those are really my take on the A321. I wouldn't choose to fly long haul, single aisle plane again. It was enjoyable. I overheard one couple say, well, it's not even a proper plane. I spoke to some other people who said, didn't even notice, mate. And so it is that thing, your seat is not much different. The economy seat is the same as the 787 economy seat. It's only the deluxe economy seat is that little bit smaller, but you have plenty of space there. So, going back to my question at the start. Would you fly long haul on a narrow-bodied jet? Leave your answer in the comment. I'd be fascinated to see what people have got to say. And if you like this video and you want to see more of this type of video, do press the subscribe button. And of course, if you ring the bell, YouTube will notify you when I post the next video. Thanks very much for watching and happy travels.